Hi, I'm Amy Katsikas, nurse practitioner and owner and founder of Pier 111 Medical Aesthetics. We are a full-service medical spa offering injectables such as Botox, filler, we do microneedling, we do all kinds of lasers here, including resurfacing and laser hair removal. This was my first commercial build. We did interview several different companies, and by far Jay stood out, both personality, I could tell his organization, the team that worked for him. So undoubtedly, he was top of the list.
They exceeded our expectations at every level. They were super communicative. Anytime there was I'll say problem, they were ahead of things before they became a problem in all situations. They guided us to make sure that we were continuing to stay on track with our timing and our grand opening dates. They made suggestions for changes that we didn't even know we needed or wanted. They were very easy to talk to, but never at any point did we feel pressured to make a decision that we weren't ready to make.
What impressed me from the very get-go is it was not just Jay. Like, he had an entire team working with him. The person that he contracted for architecture, he must have a long-standing relationship with. So it's almost like they could read each other's brains. They worked very hard to make it the very most efficient and cost-effective that they could. I have to say that he also came to our facility for several of the first meetings because he wanted to get an idea of the quality that I wanted, the look that I wanted, and just some of the extra special things. So his architect came with him, his foreman came, and then his assistant Pam. I cannot say enough about, I'm gonna call it the trio, between Jay, Dwayne, who's his foreman, and Pam, who's like the wizard behind the scenes. Pam is the one that would source things for me. I would show her, hey, I want this look, but of course it's too expensive. So Pam would, within a few days, send me 8 options, far less expensive than the one that I wanted. I don't know how she finds the stuff. I want her to shop for me, but she was incredible.
So we would take a picture of something that we liked for her to draw inspiration from, and she would say, here's 4 examples that I could find. You tell me which one you would prefer, and I will get it taken care of for you.
And Dwayne, good Lord, Dwayne likes to come to start work at about probably 6 a.m. He puts in long, long hours. He went above and beyond everything for us, meeting people here on the weekends if need be, taking my frantic calls. I cannot say enough about Dwayne and Pam and Jay.
I will say Jay was very prompt, courteous, paid a lot of attention to detail, including every week we would have a meeting, whether it was on Zoom or in person at our location or at his location. We talked through everything. We had a text group, and if there was something even mentioned in the text group, it went right into the document for us to have a discussion around. He never missed a single detail. He was so lovely to work with. Pam was lovely to work with. Even some of the concerns that we had to overcome, they were right there holding our hands the entire way.
So some of the details that Jay would bring to my attention that I would never have even thought about, and actually a lot of them ended up saving me money, is how to take some of the excess granite and utilize it in the coffee bar. Initially, if I wanted a different design, he's like, hey, Amy, I think you can save some money here. The millwork around windows and doorways is just an added touch that I would not have thought of. The recessed ceilings, which didn't really cost me anything additional, but he knew I had some very high standards and he threw that in. Also, he would think of things because it's commercial and it was my very first commercial build. He would look ahead and think what's gonna be good longevity, like 10, 15 years down the road, what items are still gonna be stable and look good. Still keeping to my look, he would bring in those quality design elements. Of course, we wanted a guest bathroom and a staff bathroom. Well, he had to walk me all through what it meant to have ADA. I had never really learned about or knew about the ADA requirements, and that was a lot to comply with the city. So he walked me through all of that and offered me options that he knew I would still be happy with and yet would fulfill those requirements.
Yeah, Jay was very forthcoming with any of the obstacles that we ran into, which were very few, thank goodness. But if we did have to pivot, he was very honest about the change orders that we would have to approve in order to make certain things happen.
Jay is by far the fairest builder I have ever worked with. If he thought something was coming in higher than it would be or should be, he would offer me suggestions that would still give the same quality look, but save me some money. Perfect example was the flooring I picked out was astronomical. And he came to our current facility and brought 3 other options. And he's like, okay, Amy, I'm not gonna show you the one you picked right now. I'm gonna show you these 3 options and which one could you live with? And I picked out one that was almost identical to the expensive one. So he was not trying to gouge anyone for money. He was very fair, worked with us with a tight budget, actually a very strict budget, and came in under where we thought we'd be. After working with him very closely for all of these months, and now seeing the end product, which is more than I ever could have imagined, on a scale from 1 to 10, I would 100% give Jay and his crew in Metropolitan an 11. Top notch. I would highly recommend him to anyone looking to undergo a commercial property. In fact, I can't even fathom it right now, but if there's ever a Pure 111 number 3, we already know who we're going with. Undoubtedly, it's Metropolitan.